most developed countries are currently facing a rate of inflation of 10%, sometimes even above that rate. When reading the news, we often see the macro level consequences of inflation on the economy in general, and we forget the impact it might have on firms. In fact, many human resource managers and many human resource departments are currently grappling with the consequence of inflation on their workforce. Let me expose you some of the core impacts that inflation may have on your human resources and on your workforce. So when you have inflation, workers are likely to bargain for higher salaries. Why? The cost of products of consumption is rising, the cost of living is rising, and as a consequence, workers may need to be paid better for a living. But the other interrelated phenomenon is that workers might get external offers. They might get poached elsewhere because the inflation is creating more liquidity on the market and a rise in salaries when firms are coming on the market for the first time to recruit. So you have those two interrelated phenomena. Workers bargain for higher salaries because of inflation, because of the cost of living, but also you have external pressure coming from your competitors or other firms trying to recruit your workers at a higher salary. How you might react as a firm, as a human resource department, depends on you, but really there are two options. Either you decide to let those people go, you believe that the salaries they are being offered elsewhere is too high for you, you don't want to match, that will generate turnover. In general, with inflation, we'll be experiencing higher turnover in most organizations. Or because you are concerned about the cost of bringing a new worker in, training them, and you want to keep your valuable human resources and employees, you may want to raise the salaries and the perks to retain the salaries that are at risk of being poached by your competitors or other firms. Unfortunately, whatever choice you make is likely to continue and foster this vicious cycle, because if you let people go, there will be concerns within your organization about external equity. What people are being paid outside your firm might be higher, and people within your organization will feel like they are not paid well enough. And as a consequence, they will be demotivated by those concerns over external equity. If you decide to retain some of your workers by giving them a pay rise to avoid them going to your competitors or other firms, then there might be concerns over internal equity. Other employees within the organization might hear about this. They might look at how much other workers at the same level with the same skills are being paid, and they might start thinking that there is a lack of internal equity, that there is too much wage inequality within the organization created by those workers renegotiating their salaries. This by itself, whether it's turnover or retaining your workers, will generate those equity issues that will then trigger more bargaining for higher salaries. And the whole cycle will basically rise your cost of labor, often in line with inflation. You'll have to catch up. And in fact, it might be even more costly than inflation, because you'll have very often to replace your workers, go on the market, train those new workers, and turnover in general is very costly because of the training costs, because of how workers learn how to perform in a job and how to do well. And they will have to learn again if they change their organization. So how to address this issue? Well, there is no silver bullet, but a few ideas and a few suggestions, mostly around your retention strategy. In a situation of high inflation, as a firm, you need to ensure that you have a good retention strategy in place. First, you need to engage in preemptive effort to retain employees, looking at those that might be at risk of being poached by your competitors. You need to engage in a constant dialogue with them, with those most crucial, most valuable employees, those who have skills that might be valuable to your competitors, those who might be in jobs and in markets that are very liquid, where they are very likely to get another offer with a better salary. It takes a lot of benchmarking effort, looking at what your competitors and other firms are doing and how they are paying their employees and the sort of perks they are offering and aligning on those. And instead of playing on wages, which as we have seen can be very costly, it's very important for organizations to ensure that they highlight the perks and the benefits associated with the job. At the moment, a lot of firms are playing around the flexibility that they offer to their workers, again, with some attention to ensuring equity within the organization, and leveraging the identity and the culture of the organization as a core element, which might help you retain your employees by showing them that by staying with you, they'll still be in a very fruitful, very beneficial environment. Good luck.